morning and welcome to Real Talk with Tamara. I hope that you guys are doing okay this morning. As you come into the room, please hit the like button. Also, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel, but definitely hit the like button. Also, if you would like to support the channel, you can do it via Cash App. Okay, as you guys know that I've been following the story of Miss Eliza Fletcher, that's the school kindergarten teacher that went missing in Memphis, Tennessee, extremely closely. Um, I've done a couple videos on it, and I said from the very start that I did not have a good feeling about it when they're saying her clothing was found in a dumpster in the South Memphis area, and her clothing had blood on it. Well, her body it's being confirmed that her body was found in a field, unfortunately. So I want to send condolences to her family. I just happened to log on as I was getting ready to go to the braiding shop and see this. I want to play this right quick.
Body found in a heavily wooded area near where heiress Eliza Fletcher was kidnapped is now confirmed to be her. She was found about 7 miles from where she was beaten and kidnapped Friday morning in Memphis. The suspect, 38-year-old Cleotha Abston, was identified and taken into custody on Saturday. He was expected to be in court at any moment, but that hearing has been canceled as additional charges are now being added for first-degree murder. Welcome to a brand new hour of America's Newsroom. I'm Dana Perino. It's sad news indeed.
Sure is. Dana, good morning to you. I'm Bill Hemmer. Police still not releasing an official cause of death. She was a kindergarten teacher. Eliza Fletcher went for her morning jog, as she does very early, 4 o'clock a.m., when she was attacked last Friday near the University of Memphis. Detectives saying that surveillance video shows the suspect aggressively running toward her, grabbing her off the street and forcing her into his SUV, leaving her phone and water bottle behind, and some shoes with DNA matching the suspect. His cell phone signal placing him near the scene.
We're going to cover this from all angles for you. Criminal defense attorney Philip Holloway, former district attorney and former D.C. homicide detective Ted Williams, and a Fox News contributor join us. But first, to Charles Watson. He is live outside the courthouse. He has the latest. And Charles, we just spoke to you an hour ago, and now we have this confirmation.
Yeah, hey, good morning, Dana. We just got this confirmation from the Memphis police. They posted on Twitter that the deceased victim that they located in the residential neighborhood in South Memphis yesterday evening is, in fact, Eliza Fletcher. They also said in this statement that they put out on Twitter that additional charges are, for 38-year-old suspect in this case, Cleotha Abston, have been added for first-degree murder and first-degree murder in perpetration of kidnapping. Now, last night, Dana and Bill, I was out at the scene in South Memphis, and you could see the writing on the wall. Police weren't saying much about what they were looking for, what they had in this residential neighborhood, but the amount of officers that we saw over there, sort of led to the fact, led people to believe that they did find Fletcher in this area. Again, they have not said what her cause of death is, but police have said all along in an affidavit that they believe that Fletcher sustained serious bodily injury when she was running on the campus of University of Memphis campus, and this man just came up and aggressively attacked her and pulled her into a vehicle. Now, we've been outside of the courthouse this morning. We're hearing that Abston's court appearance today has been canceled. We've been inside trying to work some of our sources inside to see if we can get more information on that. Those details are scarce right now. We're working to see if that hearing will happen today. But again, police have confirmed the body that they found in a residential neighborhood in South Memphis yesterday is Eliza Fletcher. New charges added to the suspect in in this case absent. And again, guys, the evidence, everyone is presumed innocent until proven guilty, but the evidence that police presented in the affidavit seemed to overwhelmingly point to absent in this case. You mentioned it, Dana. They pointed to the fact that a cell phone belonging to the victim pinged in the area where Fletcher was running last Friday on the University of Memphis campus. Also, the items that were left behind at the abduction site, a cell phone, as well as a pair of sandals that were later sent to state investigators who linked them to absent through DNA. He, of course, has a history of kidnapping. He was convicted in 2000 to more than 20 years in prison for kidnapping a Memphis lawyer and holding him at gunpoint, driving him around the city for hours until that lawyer was finally able to alert a security guard and get some help. So, again, he has a history of this, and it appears after being released from jail less than 2 years later, he's done it again, allegedly, at least. Dana?
Charles Watsons, thank you, and our condolences to the family as they get this news.
Okay. I want to send my condolences to the family. Of course, as I said, I didn't have a good feeling about it. I'm looking at the affidavit right now, and I cannot download it and put it up, but I would love to. So I'm going to read just a little bit of it. It says, on Friday, September 2nd, 2022 at 7 a.m., Memphis police responded to a missing person in the 1500 block of Carr Avenue. Richard Fletcher advised that his wife, Eliza, went for her regular run at 4 a.m. and had not returned home. She was last seen wearing a pink shirt, purple shorts, and running shoes. At approximately 6:45, citizens Miles Fortes rode his bike on Central Avenue near Zach H. Curlin Street and found the victim's cell phone as well as a pair of Champion slides laying in the street in the same area. Fortes turned these items over to family members of the victim, who in turn turned them over to investigators. Afterwards, investigators located video surveillance near 3876 Central Avenue that showed a black GMC Terrain passing and then waiting for the victim to run by. A male exited the black Terrain, ran aggressively towards the victim, and then forced Eliza into the passenger side of the vehicle. During this abduction, there appeared to be a struggle. The Champion slide sandals were found in the area. These sandals belonged to him. So she definitely fought to the point that he lost one of his shoes with his ugly ass. The victim then sat in the parking lot with the victim inside for approximately 4 minutes before it drove off. The vehicle had noticeably damage to the back passenger tail light. Additionally, approximately 24 minutes before the abduction, surveillance footage captured the same vehicle in the area and captured a partial plate. So he probably had been watching her. He may have not seen her running around that time. Oftentimes predators would check out your pattern. Okay. They will check out your pattern. Or it could have just been random. He might have seen her and decided, just kind of circled the area to make sure that nobody else was out. It could have just been a crime of opportunity because, of course, he is definitely a predator. Okay. Also, this man, they said that they sat in the car for about 4 minutes. I learned that this man worked for a cleaning company. So he may have knocked her out. I'm sure she was fighting in the inside of the vehicle. He could have had any kind of chemical to knock her out. You never know what happened, okay? Because he had worked for a cleaning company. It says on Friday, September 2nd, the Champion slide sandals were sent to TBI for DNA testing. Thereafter, investigators developed Cleotha Absence Henderson as a person of interest in the investigation. DNA found on the shoes matched DNA for Cleotha Henderson before and during the abduction. Investigators were able to recover the surveillance footage of Cleotha Absence wearing the same Champion slide sandals a day before the abduction. This footage was obtained from the 1080 block of North Germantown Parkway. I keep trying to tell y'all that they have bomb sky cameras I think I've been saying that, that are in high in HD. Okay. Um, it says that this location has active utilities in the name of Gwendolyn Brown. Research and law enforcement database revealed that Gwendolyn Brown has a black 2013 terrain with license plate BD. Let's see, that's Bravo D Xerox 7952. Law enforcement database revealed that, okay, and of course, they did the VIN number that is registered to her. Investigators also located a police report dated 9/1/2022 that listed the address at the 5700 block of Waterstone Oakway for Cleotha Absence Henderson. Sergeant Payne and Sergeant Barrett then interviewed the owner of Majesty Cleaning Service, Marilyn Pickens, who verified that she employed Cleotha. Of course, that's what I just said, that he drives the GMC Terrain and that his phone number was 901-852-2028. Investigators obtained cellular phone records for that number, and analysis determined that the cellular device associated with the number was in the area during the time that Eliza Fletcher was forced into the car. And y'all think these folks ain't got these people, all these folks that did this to Dolph, but I digress. I keep trying to tell y'all, on September 3rd, 2022, at approximately 10:45, the 2013 GMC Terrain with license plate Bravo, I forgot what D means, Xerox 7952, was located by members of the U.S. Marshal Service, Two Rivers Violent Fugitive Task Force. The vehicle was backed into a parking spot in the parking lot in the 5700 block of Waterstone Oakway, and was confirmed to be the vehicle by the license number and the noticeable damage in the rear side tail light. The damage was captured in the video of the abduction and the partial plate identification and surveillance footage. Further, members of the U.S. Marshal Service, Two Rivers Violent Fugitive Task Force observed a male subject matching the physical description of Cleotha standing in the doorway in the 5700 block of Waterstone Oakway. The officers then detained Cleotha at this location while he occupied the GMC Terrain. When officers stopped Cleotha, he attempted to flee but was taken into custody. They probably whooped his ass too if he tried to flee. Investigators interviewed Chantel Anthony, and she stated that after the abduction at approximately 7:50 hours, she saw Cleotha at the home of Mario Abston in the 1700 block of Orleans Street. Of course, that's in Deep South Memphis. This is not the house that Cleotha Abston's cleaner Henderson lives. He stated that she stated that she saw Cleotha cleaning the interior of the GMC Terrain with floor cleaner, and stated that he was behaving oddly. This was later confirmed by Mario Abston, Cleotha Abston Henderson's brother, who stated that he too saw Cleotha cleaning the interior. So his brother told on his ass too, cleaning the interior of the floor. Chantel Anthony and Mario saw Cleotha washing his clothes in the sink of the house. He stated that it appeared that he was acting strange. Okay. Cleotha declined to provide investigators with location of victim as the abduction was violent, with, as captured on video, the suspect waiting for the rushing to the victim. Okay. The suspect waiting for, then rushing towards the victim, then forcing the victim into the vehicle where she was confined and removed and continues to be missing. It is, let me go to the next page. That's page 1. It is believed and supported by the facts. Okay, so there's another one. I'm not going to read that one because there's another video that I want to show, but that was just one of the affidavits. Okay, of course, now we know that he has been charged. He is going to be charged with murder if he has not been. He had his first appearance in court. They were saying they didn't know if he would go to court or not, but they took him to court. And I'm trying to be professional on this because it's a lot of choice words that I want to use, but I'm not going to.
We are going live here. First time ever seen the suspect right now coming. Let's listen right here on Live Now from Fox.
I know you're wearing a facial mask, so speak as clearly as you can through your mask there, so I can understand what you're saying. We have two cases on the docket today, you do, and in one case, your name is listed here on the docket as Cleopa Hampson. In the second case, they have listed it as Cleopa Hampson Henderson, which is correct legally. Which is correct? Hampton hyphen Henderson, sir? Henderson. Okay. And where does the Hampton come in? Social Security. Then I'll address you that way. Mr. Ashton, in your first case, you're charged with especially aggravated kidnapping and tampering with or fabricating evidence in a criminal case. Your bond was set by the Judicial Commissioner in that case in the amount of $500,000. In your second case, you're charged with a misdemeanor offense, theft of property with a value of $1,000 or less, identity theft, and fraudulent use or possession of a credit card. Your bond was set in that case in the amount of $10,000 by the Judicial Commissioner. You're presumed to be innocent of the charges. You have the right to have a lawyer to represent you on these charges. And that is why you were asked to fill out some information for me for each case in an affidavit, similar to this one here too. One for each case. Raise your right hand, sir. Do you swear or affirm that the facts and the information that you are submitting in each of your affidavits concerning whether you can make bond and whether you can hire an attorney is true and correct information, sir? May I put your hand down? In each of your affidavits for each case, you state that at this time you are not able to make bond, have no one to help you, and you're not able to afford a lawyer. Is that correct? Your affidavits will be filed here in each of your court jackets. And based upon your affidavits, I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. You'll be assigned a lawyer, appointed counsel, from the Office of the Shelby County Public Defender. I'm referring your cases today to the office and holding your cases over for a short continuance so they can assign a lawyer to represent you who will review your cases and the facts. Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, Your Honor. On behalf of the Shelby County Public Defender, I'll accept the appointment. The case will be mine, Your Honor.
All right, you'll sign on both jackets. Miss Jennifer Case, can you step over here and sign the jackets for me, please?
Yes, Your Honor. I will also advise the court that I'm at this time filing a motion for the restriction of extrajudicial statements of prosecution by law enforcement witnesses in the case.
You can file whatever motions you need to at this time.
Your Honor, I'll be asking the court for an order.
Just to advise you, now, if you've spoken to Mr. Hagerman, I understand that there are additional charges that are forthcoming. How you want to handle this today?
I'd say a couple of things, Your Honor. First, with regard to this motion, I think she said something to the effect of preparing an order. The state intends, as we always do, to comport with the ethical rules about what we can say and what we can't say. I don't understand a request for any sort of gag order at this time. This is literally the first court date.
I haven't seen it yet. There's nothing in the record right now. I haven't seen a written motion. If and when a written motion is filed, I will review it and rule on it. I understand. You'll have the opportunity to be heard.
Very good. The second thing, Your Honor, is yes, additional charges were filed this morning for murder, premeditated murder, and murder in perpetration of a kidnapping. I would expect the Judicial Commissioner to send those cases here, the clerk's office to send those cases here, as Your Honor stated. I would expect them to defer to Your Honor with regard to a bond setting on those cases. I think it would normally come to this court with no bond set. And I think it would make the most sense, just record keeping and everything else right now, to go ahead and show no bond set on this matter as well. So we get everything straight in the record.
If there's going to be any motion filed to reduce bond or set no bond or revoke bond, I want it in writing, in the record, under the statute. A bond has been set. by the Judicial Commission at this time. That's the bond. If there's going to be any request by the defense to reduce the bond or change the bond, it must be in writing per the statute. If there's a request by the state to change the bond, increase it, revoke it, or anything like that, it must be in writing. So if you'll file your motion to have it in the record, then we can deal with that. It's not before me right now. The case is not in front of me, and it requires a written motion by counsel for the defendant, for the state, to file a written motion if there's going to be a change in bail. All right? Thank you. Appreciate that. Now, I'm assuming, now we can't assume that the clerk's office is going to assign the case to this courtroom. I'll have to ask them to specifically do that. Unfortunately, too many times when cases are pending in one courtroom and a person's charged, the clerk assigns it to who's next on the assignment. So I'll have to make a phone call down to the clerk's office and request that they set the case if the charge has been filed. Set those cases with new charges in this court. They'll be on the docket in the morning. So I don't know if you want to hold this until the morning or hold it.
Okay, basically from what I see, all of them lining his ass up. Even that attorney that he was just appointed, she gonna line him up. Then she's not stupid. That's a billionaires who has a family that is in the legal profession. And also the judge says that the clerk's office, they have no idea of if a clerk is going to assign, because the clerks actually assign the cases to a courtroom. He said that he'll call down there personally to see. He has to call down there and ask them to personally assign a case to him, and he's going to call down there and see if they would assign that to his courtroom. He about through, and he know that. But I want to say, send my prayers to Miss Eliza's family. I think that this is sad, but hopefully the same attention that Eliza got, with all we know that the feds have unlimited money and unlimited resources and technology. Hopefully when this happens to any other woman of any other race, and she's not a billionaires, okay? And there aren't many billionaires, okay? There just aren't many. She's one in a million, okay? Every million, okay? That they would receive the same attention. But at any rate, I think that this is sad. I didn't, like I said, I did not have a good feeling about this. And I feel so bad for the family. I feel so bad for her children, her small children, that would never see her again. And so I'm praying for her family. I'm praying for her husband. I know there are a lot of people that have suspicions about what could have happened to her. They're saying that maybe her husband lined her up. I don't know if her husband lined her up or not, or had this done to her. Hold on, I'm trying to. I don't know that this man has a history of doing things like this. Okay, he has a history of doing this. He's a predator. And you could tell that he's just used to doing it. He does not seem like he's in fear. I don't believe that she was the only person, the only woman that he has done this to. This man is possibly a serial killer. There have been other women that have been snatched up and killed. They were just African American women, so we didn't get their pictures. It was not a whole lot of media attention or anything like that. So I hate that this has happened to her. I really do. But at the same time, I'm happy that this predator is off the street, and he seems extremely comfortable. So he probably was ready to go back to where he was familiar with and comfortable with, and that is jail. And I just hate that he did this. He exerted his hate, okay, and towards women. But when men are used to violating women, okay, that's why I tell women never ever underestimate men when they violate you. Go to the FBI, okay, put reports and stuff on file when they will go to lengths to try and violate you and start getting them looked at. Because if they will violate you, that means that they've already got something illegal going on anyways, right? Okay, so you could save your life or somebody else's life. But I want to say rest in peace to Miss Eliza Fletcher. I send my prayers to her family. I hate that this happened. The only good thing that has come out of this is that a predator is off of the street, okay? All right, you guys. But again, I would like for you guys to like, share, and subscribe. I'll probably talk about this again a little later. But, I don't want to hear, people saying, at least not to me, well, they only did this because she's a billionaire. I wouldn't care why they did it. I'm glad they did it. A predator is off of the street. We can't make everything about race. This lady is a human being, okay? We can't focus on or minimize what he did to her just because she's a Caucasian woman. If we have issues with how she got media coverage and attention, but the Black girls didn't get it, then we need to stop. We need to be proactive and let these medias know, well, we don't appreciate what y'all doing, and so we're not gonna tune into your medias. Therefore, you won't get the advertising dollars until you can make this equal, because every other community wants the same coverage also. But we're not minimizing what he did to her, because what he did to her was heinous in nature, and we are happy that he is arrested. And I don't give a damn about his race, okay? I don't care nothing about his race. I don't care about him being a Black man, because I mean, we could do without him in our community, because he makes the Black community look bad, right? What he did to her, there was nothing right about what he did to her. And although I didn't see those charges, I'm sure it was sexually motivated. Okay. But they probably will not put that out there until a little bit later, okay, to trial or something like that. Because oftentimes they don't release stuff like that immediately. Okay. But anyways, you guys, I want you all to like, share, and subscribe. And the thing about it is he ain't budging. You could tell this is not his first time around the rodeo. He's used to doing things, and then he feels like if he don't say anything, he has a chance of getting out. But he threw. They got DNA evidence. They got sky cams. They got everything as it relates to him. They got family members that basically pointed the fingers at him. His brother was arrested for drugs. See, his brother was guilty by affiliation. When they started looking at him, they found out his brother was selling heroin and drugs and stuff. So he's got some charges. He was arrested. Okay, so he'll do anything to get out of whatever he's involved in, and then he don't want them to think, that he was involved. We don't know if he had somebody else in the car, but they didn't see anybody else. Okay, but he's gotten some more people tied up in his mess. Okay. But anyways, you guys, I want you guys to like, share, and subscribe. Talk to you later.